so we're on page 5 of the handout. What we're going to do, we have job descriptions. We have 2 job descriptions. One is for a King Soopers deli clerk, and the other is for an electrical engineer. So we're kind of doing the whole spectrum of skills. Low skill to extremely high skill. Peter, would you give some to the parent? Oh, you need more?
They need some.
Okay.
Here, hand them okay, how many, who needs one?
I think we can do with 3. You can share one. I'll share one.
Okay.
You can share. Okay.
So practice number 1. What we're going to do is look at the King Soopers deli clerk. So what I'd like you to do is look at the job description. So this is right off the internet. And in a moment I'm going to ask you what things is the employer looking for. So in the posting for the courtesy clerk, what is the employer looking for? So take a minute to read it. Again, it's not hard, gang. Yeah. Yeah. They're almost like bulleted.
Yeah. Oh, amazing how that happened.
Okay, you ready? So ladies, you guys are trailing a little here. We got to get some things from you guys. So, what are some of the things that King Sooper is looking for in this position? Kayla.
Good customer service and productivity.
Boom. What else?
Good communication.
Good communication. What else?
Good under pressure.
Does it say that?
Well, it says handling stressful situations.
Okay, good, good. What else?
Positive attitude.
Yep. So you get it? They spell it out. Gang, to write a job description takes days, if not weeks, right, David? Somebody has to write it. Human Resources Department has to review it and tweak it. There are meetings over what exactly are we looking for. So all kinds of time went into writing these job descriptions. This is what they're looking for. So just pull it out. So then the next step, and this is all prereq before we start writing our cover letter. So, fellas, the ladies did real well. How do you guys today match up compared to this? What skills do you bring to the table that match this job description?
Julie?
Yeah.
Okay.
What skills do you have, Luke, that match up to what they're... Do you have knowledge of basic math? Of course. Out the wazoo, right? Yes.
I'm good under stressful situations.
Good under stressful situations. What else?
Well, I'm not very effective at communication skills.
Don't put that on your resume.
Peter can definitely get 5 items in the bag. He may not talk to the customer while he's doing it, but you can do 5 items in the bag.
Put the codes together.
And I'm with you, brother. I feel it. So you see how we do that simple exercise? So when you're writing a cover letter, just look at what you're looking for, and then in the cover letter, we're going to explain how we match. So let's do a second practice. Let's look at the electrical engineer. Take a minute. What things are they looking for in the electrical engineer? So we're going to do the same thing here in about a minute. I'm going to ask you what they're looking for. We're going to talk about that on the next page. I'm going to use that example. All right, you ready? All right, fellas, let's let you guys start. So, what are some of the things that the, in this case, the employer is MKK, what are they looking for in an electrical engineer?
Well, they're looking for somebody who can figure out what the client needs and then describe that to the design team. So
Good.
somebody who's intermediate between the client and the engineering division.
Good. What else are they looking for?
Qualifications and experience.
Which is, what are some of the things?
Bachelor's degree, and it says experience using Microsoft Office Suite on
Yep.
AutoCAD and Contract.
Yep. It says 4+ years related job experience required, 8+ years related industry experience required. So we see, you don't have to like make stuff, they tell you what they're looking for. Because in the next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna see how we match up to it. Yes, sir.
You need to be able to pay for your trips whenever you want to go somewhere. That's what I got from it.
Did it say that?
Flight assistant, out of town, everything they travel. The last one.
Well, it depends on what unassisted means.
You like need to have your own car.
alone. I think that
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I think it means alone, not...
means you go in alone, not
Yeah, I've never heard of a company that's gonna say, you need to fly here, but we're not gonna pay for it.
General job. What's your own flight? What's your own car?
You're gonna need to rent your own car, pay for your own meals, pay for the flight.
Right, good. Okay, so you see how we kind of dissected the job listing? Oh, not yet. Okay, so now we're on page 6. So let's start, we've done our homework, right? We've done some preparation. So now let's start crafting the cover letter and resume. So based on our previous answers, you know, what is the employer looking for? What does every employer look for? We're going to tailor the cover letter and resume to the position. And what we want to do is take what they're looking for requirements, and we're going to say, assuming we have it, we're going to be honest, we're going to say in our cover letter and resume, we're going to show how we have that experience. Because the cover letter and resume doesn't get us the job, but it does keep us from getting the job, right? So what we want is, we want our resume to move on to the interview stage. So, second bullet point, and Mr. Olivato pulled me aside while you guys were working on that exercise. Second bullet point, page 6. Initial screeners generally look for keywords. So use the exact words in the description. Don't be creative. So if they look for, you need the ability to put 5 items in a bag. You may, in your cover letter, say, I can put 5 items in a bag. You're going to use the same words. Mr. Olivato was sharing with me, he worked for an employer that at the time, and I think the systems have kind of evolved, but there was a time in his career that they ran the resumes through a checker, a computerized checker, and was it 15 out of 20? 15 out of 20. If your resume didn't match 15 out of 20 keywords, so if it said happy and you wrote glad, that's not a match. So on the second bullet point, I wrote it from experience. Mr. Olivato just supported it in his experience. They look for keywords. And generally the screeners don't do the job. So, you know, they won't know what an electrical engineer does, but they know that they're looking for certain requirements. And so they're just looking at your resume to see if it matches. So, second bullet point, use the exact words of the description. No fluff. Creative writers, congratulations, that's wonderful. Continue to be creative. Not in your cover letter and resume. Just kind of stick to the point. The cover letter and resume should always answer these questions. What value do you bring? And what is some of the value that employers look for? Showing up on time, knowing your stuff, don't punch other employees, no gossiping, right? That's value.
Those are values, but those are not propositions.
No pressure.
Right? I mean, they expect everyone to
Right.
show up on time. That's not what's going to make you unique.
Man, that is a great point. So what Cindy said is, there is a difference between value and your unique value proposition. You know, value is someone using their hands, but it's not unique for a mechanic to use their hands, right? So that's an excellent point. Thank you. Okay, what value, so the cover letter and resume should answer these questions. What value can you add, and why hire you instead of the other candidates?
Mike.
So I hired a lot of loan processors, and at the end of every interview, I would always ask, why should you be hired instead of someone else? Now this was in a market, mortgage got real big before 2008, and then after the crash, there was a lot of mortgage people out of work, looking for work. So there was more candidates than jobs that had experience. These folks had experience. And I'll tell you, gang, 9 times out of 10, what people would tell me when I asked, why should I hire you instead of someone else? They would say, because I've been processing for 15 years. And it was like, everyone I'm talking to has, there's nothing unique about that. So the 2 questions, what value do you add, and why should you be hired instead of the other candidates? Next. Yes, Keith.
What kind of answer would you be looking for to that question?
What are some of the unique value propositions that somebody could, this was like a customer service, what are some of the unique value propositions that they could add? Yes.
I think it's more like saying, instead of I'm good with people, it's like I led my Boy Scout troop, or whatever. It's an example that is more than just saying, yeah, I'm really good with people.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to say I'm good with people. Very few are going to list several things about people that they've actually done.
That is very true, and we're going to talk about that too, about proving it. But to Keaton's question, what would we be looking for? Why hire you? So some of the things, somebody mentioned productivity earlier. Michaela. So if their previous employer, I always finished in the top 25% as far as productivity. Or I am great at customer service, and to use your example, I've won these 4 awards for customer service. Because it's an excellent point. Everyone would say they're good at customer service, and I'd hire them, and not everyone is great at customer service. So those are some examples. Okay.
So basically being very specific about it.
Right. For the mechanic, instead of, I like to use my hand, maybe it's, I'm certified in air conditioning and electrical and carburetors, whatever, different certifications.
I've put in 700 starters.
Right.
Or maybe even, I was, ever since I was 6, I helped my dad work on the motorcycle.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have a motorcycle.
But not for me, but just in general. What makes it specific about you than just, I don't like to work with my hands.
Yeah. No one will believe in you more than you do. More than you believe in yourself. Be brief. It's not a novel writing contest. And the recruiters and hiring managers will only look at your cover letter and resume that you're going to spend hours preparing. They're only going to look at it for 20 seconds. But actually that's an exaggeration. They're not going to look at it that long. They're going to look at it real quick, right? They're going through stacks of resumes.
However, even though they're only going to look at it briefly, if there's misspellings that are glaring at them or something really off about that one's being tossed immediately.
Right.
So you still have to really put the effort in and make it look great, no misspellings, grammar check, all those things. But, yeah.
But you want to add to that is you want to be brief, right? Because they're not going to read it out. Next, do you see that? Spelling and grammar have to be perfect. You guys see that?
That's not what it says.
Isn't that jarring? If you look on your paper there, it's not.
Yeah, 3 times.
It's kind of like when someone's playing the piano and they hit the wrong key, and it's just kind of So look at this. This is an actual resume that came across my desk. So this person is saying that one of the things she did in her role was to ensure completeness and accuracy. And in the line with the circle, there's 2 words without a space between them. So she's about ensuring accuracy, right? And completeness. And then here there's this, I didn't do that, gang. That is just a screenshot of the resume. See how there's a space in the word accuracy?
We accidentally hit tab.
So that's just an example of spelling and grammar have to be perfect. And if it's not, it jumps out at people. Has to look professional, use simple, clear sentences.
Capitalization alone.
Write in active verbs. Can somebody tell me the difference between an active verb and a passive verb? I could never explain it. Peter.
There's I am active and then I was active.
Yeah. Right on, dude. Thanks for getting out of bed today.
I didn't consider it very much.